This guy is so good looking, it literally kills people. God, I wish that were me. The movie kicks off with our young hero Max spilling his guts to a shrink. Max just wants to be a normal dude, but life handed him a peculiar gift. He's got a face so beautiful, it's literally drop-dead gorgeous. No, really. People croak when they see it. Talk about a killer smile. We flash back to Max's grand entrance into the world. Nurses in the dock who catch a glimpse of baby Max are swooning to their deaths. His face is like a lethal dose of "aww." It sparks a lethal hormone surge that flatlines people. So Max's family goes incognito mode, moving from place to place like they're in the witness protection program. To keep Max's lethal good looks under wraps, he's homeschooled, but it's no picnic. Poor Max is lonely. Relatable. With only his immune parents able to gaze upon his deadly beauty. To avoid fatal encounters, Max rocks the bandage burrito look, hiding his mug from the world. The shrink thinks Max's bandage obsession is the root of his issues, and dares him to unveil his face. Max obliges, and boom, one dead psychologist. Max's parents rush in, find the laid duck, and it's deja vu all over again. Cops show up suspicious about Max's uncanny knack for being present at people's untimely exits. As the parents handle the police, Max finds a brick and pockets it, plotting his next move. Dad asks if the shrink session helped, but Max is like, nah, just another day in paradise. How sarcastic. Later, Max's buddy Dan is invited for dinner. Max's parents insist he needs to socialize, but Max argues that it's tough to mingle when you're a walking mummy. After dinner, Max begs Dan to give his face a brick makeover. He tried the hammer approach, but the curse of his killer face still stands. Dan, being the wingman he is, suggests Max find a girlfriend instead. Valentine's Day is right around the corner. Time for clapping. Dan's busy swiping for love on his phone. Relatable. So Max chucks it away, causing Dan to reflexively clock him with the brick. Score 1 for the broken nose. The next day, Max and his mom hit the hospital where he meets Alex, a fellow gamer. They bond over virtual battles before Max and his mom head home, leaving Alex none the wiser about his deadly good looks. So Dan strolls into Max's pad and immediately realizes that Max is feeling lower than a limbo stick at a party for ants. Dan, being the ultimate wingman, sets up Max on a blind date, even though Max had sworn off dating apps ever since that one time he matched with a toaster. Little did Max know he was about to meet a girl he'd never seen before. Because duh, it's a blind date. When they meet up, the girl is giving Max that "I think I left my stove on" kind of look. Max tries to win her over with a small gift and a few compliments. Like, "You're even prettier than the toaster I matched with," but she's not feeling it. That is, until her ex-boyfriend Craig shows up, looking like a roided-out version of Gaston from Beauty and the Beast. Craig plops down with them and starts teasing Max, who's doing his best to keep his cool. Things go from bad to worse when Max spills his drink, and Craig, in a moment of peak douchebaggery, orders him to clean it up. Luckily, Craig gets the boot soon after, but when Max gathers the courage to ask the girl if they can meet again, she shoots him down harder than a malfunctioning SpaceX rocket. Crushed, Max contemplates jumping off a bridge. He's just like me. But then Alex appears like a quirky guardian angel. She almost teases Max, pointing out that the bridge is about as high as a toddler's bunk bed, so he probably wouldn't die if he jumped. Somehow Alex convinces Max to give life another chance. She takes him to a senior center because nothing says life is worth living like bingo and prune juice. Max meets 2 elderly ladies, one with Alzheimer's and the other with a terminal illness. It's not all doom and gloom though, as Alex reveals she has a unique condition that prevents her from expressing genuine emotions. Kinda like Mark Zuckerberg. It's like a superpower, but way less cool. Max and Alex find they have something in common, and they start to bond. Alex ends up accompanying Max to his house, where he asks her out again. She says no, and Max's disappointment level reaches a new high score. That night he chats with Dan over some video games, spilling the beans about Alex. Dan, being the wise bro that he is, suggests Max go back to the place where they first met. So Max heads to the bus stop where he reunites with Alex and convinces her to give him another chance. Max has always wanted to bathe in candy. Who hasn't? So they hit up a candy store and fill Max's bathtub with enough sweets to give Willy Wonka a sugar rush. As they chill in the candy-filled tub, they open up about their medical conditions. Alex tells Max that her heart is getting bigger and bigger, which is ironic since she can't express emotions. Despite their conditions, the two form a unique bond and start dating, proving that sometimes life is just like a box of chocolates in a bathtub. One day, Max and Alex decide to go see the latest comedy blockbuster, and afterwards hit up a happy hour at their favorite dive bar. Max, feeling a bit tipsy, is escorted home by Alex, who can't help but sneak a peek at his dreamy blue eyes beneath those mysterious shades. Max panics, thinking he's going to accidentally turn her into a goner with his killer looks. But nothing happens. Turns out people have to see the whole face package to meet their maker. Max's parents barge in, but instead of being annoyed, they're thrilled to see that their socially awkward son has finally found a +1. They also mention that they've opened their home to an exchange student, but she's not exactly living her best life here. The next day, Max and Alex hit up the nursing home to celebrate their friend Rose's 88th birthday. Rose is the Eeyore of the group, but somehow always manages to keep going thanks to her pals. That evening, Max and his family have dinner with the exchange student, who's far from impressed with American cuisine. She opts for takeout and makes a beeline for her room. Max's mom tells him to play nice since the exchange student's parents are loaded, and they should try to impress them. The next day, Max is forced to take the exchange student for a nature walk. She takes one look at the forest and bails, so Max and Alex end up walking with their buddies Dan and his girlfriend. At one point, Alex gets scratched by a branch, and Max MacGyvers a bandage out of a piece of the cloth covering his face. As Alex thanks him, she can't help but notice her heart is racing. That night, Alex convinces Max to reveal his face to her. Under the safety of a blanket, Max covers her eyes, and they share a passionate kiss. The next day, disaster strikes when the exchange student tries to light a cigarette and accidentally torches the Christmas tree. Max and Dan end up in the hospital, where they bump into Alex and realize her health is on the decline. In a moment of fatherly wisdom, Max's dad tells him to confess his love for Alex. Not long after, they learn that Rose from the nursing home is on her way out. In a last-ditch attempt to make her final moments painless, Alex asks Max to show Rose his face, even if it's a bit morbid. Max is hesitant, but eventually caves, and Rose gets to go out in style. So this old lady kicks the bucket, but at least she's finally chilling in peace, right? Max and Alex are like two peas in a pod, but Max can't shake the feeling that he might be friend-zoned. His parents, though, are popping champagne. Their son might actually score a date. But wait, plot twist. Alex goes radio silent on Max. Dan, being the ultimate wingman, invites Alex to a party on Max's behalf. She starts typing and then goes ghost. Max, feeling like a regular Sherlock Holmes, heads to Alex's place for answers. Turns out she's sick and needs meds like Kanye needs Twitter. Max pledges to be her ride or die, and she agrees to join him at the party. The shindig is lit, with Max and Alex laughing, dancing, and getting their flirt on. But then the DJ drops a sick beat, and the lovebirds share a heart-thumping moment that turns Alex's ticker into a ticking time bomb. Her nose starts bleeding like a Tarantino film, and she bolts. Max goes on a frantic search, and his buddy Dan tries to lift his spirits. But that's when Craig, resident bully and king of bad timing, shows up. Craig forces Max to look at a girl, and spoiler alert, she dies smiling. Cue the handcuffs and a ride to the police station for Max. But luckily, he's released because pics or it didn't happen. Meanwhile, Alex is taken to the hospital, and Max learns her health situation is like no bueno, level serious. She knows her future's toast, but she's still stoked she met Max. She asks him to show his face so she can die with a smile, but Max is like, nah, I'm not about that life. He dips out, leaving Alex and his own heartbroken self behind. Max's parents are seriously wigging out over their son. Max is so fed up with his lethal looks that he considers giving himself the brick face special. Luckily, his parents catch him before he starts his DIY plastic surgery. But in the chaos, their cat sees Max's face. And well, let's just say it's got one less life now. Alex keeps blowing up Max's phone, but he's not feeling chatty. And to top it all off, Max has to attend the funeral of Dan's ex-girlfriend, whom he accidentally offed. Bummer, dude. So these two BFFs, Dan and Max, have this super serious chit-chat. Dan's like, dude, Max, you gotta see Alex. It's not her fault she's dying, you know? Max takes a moment to think. Shocking, right? And is like, you know what, bro? You're right. The next day, Max heads to the hospital to see Alex, who, poor thing, is getting worse by the minute. Max cozies up next to her for a real tearjerker of a convo. They confess their love, but alas, it's not all sunshine and rainbows. Max, being the stand-up guy he is, decides to give her a painless exit by showing her his beautiful, yet deadly face. They lock lips, but as it turns out, love isn't the answer to everything. Alex's heart can't handle it, and she dies. Max is devastated, but life goes on. He's back on the bridge where they first met, envelope in hand, doing his best Nicholas Sparks impression. He tosses the envelope into the river, symbolically saying goodbye to Alex. Max starts seeing his shrink, unpacking his life story like a suitcase after a long trip. He's not as miserable as he once was, and things are looking up. Even his parents are getting along. Turns out Max's deadly beauty is no longer a secret, and people start asking for his help to end the suffering of their loved ones. Max continues to chill with his nursing home gal pal, and life goes on. But then, plot twist, bully Craig shows up at Max's door. Max, forgetting his lethal looks, opens the door, and bam, Craig drops dead. Good riddance. And so we learn that true love is the only thing that can save you from Max's beauty, because friendship is magic or something like that. Alex didn't die from seeing Max's face. It was her pesky heart problem all along. Moral of the story? Sometimes being ugly is a good thing.